मनोबुद्ध्यहंकार चित्तामनिनाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुः न वा पञ्चकोशः न वा पाणिपादं न चोपस्थपाणिः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञाः अहं भोज्यं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्द शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. It is here. Okay. How should a jnani wanna be? Approach the specter of apparent adharma. I think the answer is right here. Yeah. It is apparent, really. Apparent. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Anyatra asmat kritat akritat. We learn baby Nachiketa did. Only 8 years old. And he had so much wisdom. He had a lot of wisdom. And it was something beautiful to watch. It is something beautiful to watch. How he puts aside the dyads. Adharma will be there. Jagat means adharma will be there. Little volume. Adharma will be there. Not because there are trees and animals, water, air, 5 elements. Why will there be adharma? Because there are human beings. The mango tree does not say, I'm going to steal some apples from there. Tired of producing mangoes. No. The river never refuses to flow and do what it is supposed to do. River does not refuse to flow. The tree does not stop producing fruit. And then the air does not say, I'm going to just stop. No. The only entity in the whole entire universe that, there is space there. In the whole entire universe, the only entity that flouts the laws of Bhagavan is who? Human being. So as long as there shall be human beings, adharma will be rampant. Adharma will sometimes overpower dharma. What should I do? That's the question. You can do what you can do. What is within one's power, one can do. You can campaign for your favorite candidate, I suppose. You can distribute flyers, people to vote. All this you can do. All this can be done. But then we pray and leave it in the hands of Bhagavan. You know, it's louder than you think over there, so I can hear everything. Yeah. It's not like the other room where there is a separate cubicle. It's okay, but I can hear everything. And I wonder if people are talking to me. That's what I'm thinking. What crashed? The whole thing crashed? Oh, live stream crashed. Now it's okay? So, and then we leave it in the hands of Bhagavan. Leave it. What else to do? Another option. Can you give me another option? Move. That's all. Many people say. Many people say that, oh, I don't like the outcome of this election. I'm going to go away. Why? Because my party, my candidate did not win. So my candidate did not win. Therefore, what am I going to do? Go away. It's an option. Or vote again. So, significance of Pradosha Puja. Dosha, not dosa, okay? Dosha. Not even the, not dosha means two things. It can mean a fault. Like Pratyavaya, Pratyavaya dosha. Dosha also means evening. Another word for evening is dosha. Evening. So the puja done at the evening time. Pra means very, very auspicious. Auspicious puja done in the twilight, evening time is called Pradosha. It comes from the Puranic story, which is very allegorical, with the churning of the ocean, with the Devas on one side and the Rakshasas on the other side. Sometimes the Devas have to team up with the Rakshasas. Why? Because the Raga Dveshas are there even if you are a Deva. Even if you become a Deva, you still want things. Indra wants to hold on to his position. He's not ready to let it go. Over my dead body, or rather, over your dead body, he will say. why I should perish? You should perish. All I have to do is send one Vajra, thunderbolt. Gone, finished. Anybody who's a contender for the position is gone. So, even the Devas are insecure. And the Devas wanted the knowledge of Amritam. Devas wanted immortality. And the Asuras said, why should we help you? And the Devas tricked them and said, we'll give you some too. We'll become immortal too? Yes, you'll also become immortal. They lied to them. It was just a plain lie. They had no intentions of giving it to them. But they wanted to get their help because Asuras means brute force. Yes. And deep, dangerous ocean. They were told it's at the bottom of the ocean. You have to churn to get the things which are at the bottom come to the top. And at home, if you want to make makhan, what is makhan? Butter. Butter, if you want to make, you just have one rod with a little prong there. You just go like this, very lightly. No injury, nothing. But you can't churn the ocean with a small butter churning rod which you have at home. With what can you churn the ocean? Mountain. Meru, the mountain was chosen. And then you need you see, the churning rod, if it is small, your hands are enough. But if it's a huge thing, you need a rope going like this. You need. Where will you go? Just like that. Taraben is demonstrating. एक बार करो, फिर से करो. Ice. Yes. Just like that. Fantastic. Thank you. You need a rope. Rope किधर से लाएंगे? Where will you get the rope from? There was a sleeping snake, poor thing. Yeah. Huge python by the name of Vasuki. Hey, get up. Why? I'm sleepy. No, you have an important work to do. It's the work of the Devas. Poor thing did not know. And it was a very poisonous snake. Very extremely poisonous. And so it was so long and so huge and so big, 2.5 rounds around the mountain, and still there was enough to rope. It was here the snake became a rope. Rope does not become a snake. Snake became a rope for a change. Rajju did not become Sarpa. Sarpa became Rajju. Ah. And still there was enough rope left on either side. And then the Asuras were tricked once more. The Devas said, who amongst us all is brave enough to catch, because somebody has to catch the tail, somebody has to catch the head. Who is brave enough to catch the mouth of the snake? And the stupid, poor Asuras are not terribly bright. Okay. Yeah. Stupid Asura said, me. Here, have it. And the snake was in terrible distress. Imagine, one side Asuras, one side Devas, and putting it in the ocean, putting the whole mountain in the ocean and going like this. This way, this way, this way. And each time the belly of the snake was crushed, it sighed. Each time it sighed, poisonous vapors came, and 3, 4 asuras would faint, and they have to be revived with a wet hanky. And not that the devas were having a very fine time on the other side, because it would lash its tail. A few devas would fall off, and they had to be resuscitated with Gatorade and all, which was kept on the other side. And then they were revived, and this is how the churning went on going. And in the beginning, we think all kinds of useless things came out, like one elephant and something else. And then what is that? Milking cow, wish milking cow. Yes. Yeah, Kamadhenu, you milk every wish you want. You wish for it and it gives. It's unclear whether she gave milk or not, but she definitely gave everybody's wishes. She made them come true. Wish fulfilling cow. Lakshmi herself came out of this. And so many things. Airavata, white elephant. That also came. Kaustubha, one rare gems. Many gems came. And then Mohini comes later. Huh? Dhanvantri comes later. Yeah, but before that, Dhanvantri is holding the Amrita Kalasha. He is holding the pot with the, what is that? Potion of immortality. He comes last. Ashwins came. Ashwin twins. Yeah, Uchchaishravas, a horse which had a terrible neighing sound. That one came. Ashwins came. And you know, this is very confusing. First of all, they are identical twins. If they are identical twins, what do people tell you to do? Please do not dress them alike. And then these two always dress alike. And then please do not name them the same thing. Both of them have the same name, Ashwin. Ashwini twins. Both of them are called Ashwini. Very confusing. So then Chandra came, so many things came. And if you are thinking, why all these things came? They are so useless. What are we going to use them for? That shows the gamut of desires people have. Now, my friends, the ocean is just one's unconscious mind, full of all kinds of desires. So much so that one has to have a pact with the asuras to fulfill them. Ocean is the antahkarana. Inside that, all these desires are there. For the desires, you have to work hard. You have to keep doing karma, 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 karma. And then one thing nobody named. Hala, hala, the poison came. And the poison was so toxic, so poisonous, so noxious that the air turned gray. Birds fell out of the trees because of its vapors, even without drinking it. They fell out of the trees, and poor things, fadar, 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 they fell and died. Animals screeched and tried to hide, and they too died. And Vasuki, that was poisoning the asuras, each time he breathed, he himself fainted. He was making the asuras faint, but when he breathed the hala hala, he himself fainted. The situation was very, very, very dire. They all sat and prayed. Asuras also know how to pray. And asuras like to pray to Lord Shiva because they think he is Ashutosha. Ashutosha means asuras cannot do things for long. So they want instant gratification. And Shiva apparently is very pleased very quickly. You just say, yo, Shiva. He's very pleased. He's like, yeah, what do you want? I'm right here. He's very quickly happy, very quickly pleased. So they prayed to Shiva. Do something. We are all dying. We are in our last throes. And the poison is the unprocessed hurts of the unconscious mind. That's what it is. That's why one is afraid to look at it. That's why it's difficult to look at. But at the same time, it has to be processed. And it cannot be processed without the help of Bhagavan. This is the idea. So he comes and that whole hala hala, which is going all over the place, he just holds it and drinks it. And it is said that Parvati holds his neck. Not that she's had a fight with him, okay? Yeah, don't get wrong ideas. That is just non-Bhagavan couples. Okay, Bhagavan couples are one, they both are one, they don't fight. So therefore, why does she hold his hand? So that she does not want the poison to go inside him, inside his body. It's a story. Bhagavan is not subject to poison. And so it's a story, it's just a small allegory. So she holds his neck, and the poison gets localized in the throat. That's how the Adam's apple for the men was born, they say. That's how it was born. What does that mean? Parvati is not separate from him. She is his own Shakti. Using his Shakti, he transcends the poison and he both transcends the poison and transforms it for others as well. This is very, very nice. That happened in the evening. On the 13th day of the moon cycle. Therefore, every month, how many 13 days we have? 2 lunar calendar. So one will come in the waxing cycle and one will come in the waning cycle. This Pradosha today, waxing or waning cycle? Waxing cycle. I think 2 days later is the new full moon. I think it must be Buddha Purnima. Yes, in May. The full moon in May is called Buddha Purnima. So, that is why we pray. And of course, to complete the story, Dhanvantari comes, the healer. Meaning, this poison of the Antakarana needs healing. The body needs healing, the mind should be sound before the Amritam. Not having a very good time with this, I'm afraid. Before the Amritam is enjoyed, before the Amritam is enjoyed, all this healing has to take place. So Dhanvantri comes, and then after that, all the asuras sit down because they have been told. Then they realize they have been tricked because there's a board, no asuras allowed. He says, oh, I'm an asura. I can't go. And they're all very upset. One of them is slightly cleverer than the others. And what does he do? he disguises as a deva. It was very hard for him not to talk and to just smile and look compassionate, even though he could not be compassionate. He could not spell the word compassionate, but he tried. He just had a benign smile and blessing hand, and he was let inside thing. He was dressed as a deva, sneaked in. And the portion of immortality, which is what? Vedanta Shastra is the portion of immortality. It was served. To whom? Devas, because they were adhikaris. True, they fought amongst themselves. True, they did few wrong things once in a while, but generally they had Shama, Dama, Titiksha, all these things they had. They were ready for this knowledge and they were fed this portion. Shastra, they were taught the Shastra. And this Asura, what was his name? Swabhanu, means self-shining. What a lovely name wasted on an Asura. Yeah, really. So, Swabhanu, see, now that the Asura has had this name, nobody will have this name. Like nobody is named Kaikeyi. So many generations after Ramayana, nobody is named Ravana, nobody is named Kaikeyi. Although, unless you are from Sri Lanka, they have a very different version of the Ramayana. Very different. There you will have Ravana Das. One name will be there. Few names like that will be there. Here we say Sita Ram, they say Sita Ravan, Sita Ravana. They have a different, what is that called? Very different, they don't call it Ramayana, Ravanayana. Yes, Ravana's story. But we are not going there. Now back to this. Swabhanu sits down. He also holds out his hand because he's pretending to be Deva now. Disguised. He also holds his hand. And he is given the drink, the potion. And he drinks a few drops. And then something about him is not right. And the other Devas say, hey, he is not a Deva, he is an Asura, he has sneaked in, throw him out. Vishnu is right there, monitoring who gets the Amritam, aka Shastric knowledge, Vedantic knowledge, who will get. So Vishnu just deploys the chakra, decapitated, but not dead. Why? Amrita. He has drunk the potion. How can he die? So he sent off into the system, the solar system, as the shadow side of everybody, depicting the shadow side. Now Swabhanu became to Rahu, Ketu. What is their job? To show people they have a shadow side. And to not let the shadow come in the way of one's pursuit in life. And so the Pradosha, celebrating the Pradosha and invoking Bhagavan at this particular time. The time is very important. Twilight is a difficult time. Noon is a difficult time. What else is a difficult time? Early morning is a difficult time. Midnight is a difficult time, but most people, unless one is an owl, is asleep. It's a difficult time only for human beings. Animals are fine. Why are they difficult time? Because they are called Sandhi. That's why all our prayers, Sandhya Vandanam, that is all is done at these difficult times. Difficult time means it's not astrologically difficult or anything. It is difficult in the sense that it is neither afternoon nor night. It's twilight, it's in between. That's where mischief can happen. because I'm defined by the rules of the day. So when it's neither day nor night, I don't know what to do with myself, and adharma can take place. I can either become a victim of adharma or I can become a perpetrator of adharma. So the ancient sages decided that these three sandhyas, one of the sandhyas, one is asleep, become very important times of prayer. So the Pradosha Puja, praying for the release from the unconscious mind, from the hold of the unconscious mind, is also done when? At Sandhya. Next one. Please tell us about your good habit so that one may follow that. I don't have any good habits. Yeah. Food. Oh, food habits. Okay, okay. I don't have any food habits either. I like to eat. That's all. Yeah. Enjoy food. Food is there to enjoy. It is Bhagavan. This also is done. Is Shri Vidya Yantra in the Shankaracharya Mathas signify Tantra worship? Yes and no. Because as we saw, there are two kinds of consecrations of temples. If the temples are consecrated using agama texts, then yes, that consecration itself is very tantric, and the worship is also will be tantric. But then that tantra is different from the kinds that people practice. It has the same name, but it is more of a sacred, I would say, the tantra practiced in temple and even the Sri Chakra itself is a kind of a sacred geometry. Any yantra is a kind of a balance of shapes, numbers, etc. in a certain pattern. So the whole universe is full of patterns. Wherever you see a pattern. It's beautiful. You look at the clouds, you'll see a pattern. And even though each thing appears disparate from the other, each thing looks different. Each thing looks completely different from the other. There are patterns. There are ways in which it all connects. We don't see the connection because we are too busy plotting how to get the Raga Dvesha met, how to work for our yoga and kshema. This is what one is busy doing. And therefore, one does not have much space in the heart to notice these patterns. Nobody one day sat and do the Sri Chakra. That pattern was already there, given by Bhagavan. It was channeled. Near in Oregon, in a dry river bed, a 7-mile long perfect Sri Chakra was discovered in the 1990s. It was discovered. So who made it? It was not there the day before. It overnight. It showed up. And so you can imagine what so there is some pattern there. So the study of patterns, the study of worshipping the patterns, even under this deity, there will be a yantra. Guru yantra will be put there, which is prayed upon when it was first installed. So yes, but do they follow tantric worship as we think it is? No, not that. It is still Vedic worship only. How to keep the fragile ahankara in check? Let it shatter. Yeah. Sometimes it takes Vishwarupa. and at other times expresses in a subtle manner. Yes, it's a shapeshifter. Ahankara is a shapeshifter. Some days it will say, I'm so humble. Oh, I'm lacking self-confidence. I don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm very, very humble. I don't know how to do this at all. Other days says, hey, who is this? Shut up, keep quiet. I'm coming, don't you see? How dare you do this to me? Same ahankara. Some days with some people, it will be a certain way, and with other people, it will be a certain way. With some people, the ahankara is very, 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 very well behaved. And with other people, not so much. So, how to keep it in check? Let it break. Yeah. It is fragile, yes. And that's why it is trying to not break. That's why to support itself, it has the scaffolding of a so-called humility and a so-called bravado, if you will. Both those on either end of the continuum are what? Mechanisms of survival, mechanisms of wanting to stay relevant. As long as the ahankara stays relevant, Vedanta will become irrelevant. I have to change this. I have to make Vedanta relevant and ahankara what? Irrelevant. This is what I have to do. Do a headstand. That will help. Flip this script. This is what there is to do. And how to keep it in check? Be around people that are very critical for a little while. Yeah. And let them diss you. Yeah, especially in public. Yeah. Let them completely take you down in public. Nothing like it, I tell you. Just really wonderful for the ahankara, for the growth. Not for the ahankara, for the I. Ahankara goes and licks its wounds somewhere. But the I is freed of this terrorist. Ahankara is an inner terrorist. Atankavadi. That's what it, because it just says, I am this much. Who cares? No, I need respect. Go buy some. That's all. Go to the shop. Especially if you say, I need respect, you will not get it. I can write it and sign, seal, and deliver that to you. When somebody throws their weight around and say, I need respect, you need to respect me. People will just, they may not say anything, but they will not respect you either. Once, when I was in Coimbatore ashram, long back, there was a Swami who visited, and he had come from some place. I don't remember the place now. It's not important. He had just come back. And Pujya Swamiji asked him to come and eat lunch. And I was happening to be there during when they were having lunch. I was standing there. And it was very interesting conversations. Pujya Swamiji said, so how was your tour? Where did you go? Where all did you go? I went X, Y, Z places, he said. So how was everything? It was nice, but he kind of trailed off. But what? What happened? Well, wherever I went, they did not do namaskara to me. And Swamiji said, did they come and listen? Yes, they were very attentive. They came and listened. Every day? Yeah, every day they came. But most of them would not do namaskar. I felt like asking how many people came and how many people did namaskara, but I just said, no, this is not a good place. This is not a good time to ask all these questions. And Pujya Swamiji would never miss a chance to teach. Never, ever miss a chance to teach. This was lunchtime. The teaching came at the 4 o'clock class, 4:30, or whenever we used to have the classes in his time. And that's when he said, the worst, absolutely worst thing that you can do is to demand respect. Why is it the absolutely worst thing? It's the absolutely worst thing because you're giving the ahankara a push. You're trying to boost it. You're trying to make it be very, very relevant. People should respect me. This is a wrong thought. That's why I said, let it shatter. Ahankara is made of bone china. It is subject to osteoporosis. That's why it's called bone china. Let it die. Ahankara nashaha. Let it die. Let it, see, when you demand respect, you won't get it. And that's the worst thing one can do, is to be so set in your ways and demand that people treat you in a certain way or in certain ways. I want you to be like this with me. Is it in your right to say that? Yes. Will the other person oblige? No. So should you even try saying that? No. Save your breath. Take your breath. Enjoy them for who they are. Why do you want them to be somebody else? What happens as a result? Nothing. Even if they comply, they will be miserable because it's not who they are. And you will be miserable because you will then think they're just faking it. They don't really want to be like this. Nobody will be happy. The ahankara is a terrorist, really. You don't let it come in the way. How should a jnani behave? The Brahma Sutra gives the clue. The person of self-knowledge, how should she or he behave in society? The Brahma Sutra says, Mukavat, like a person who cannot speak. Quiet. You feel like joining in the conversation, but you don't need to. So you don't. If somebody asks you something, you say yes. Here is the information. Otherwise, you pretend not to know anything. Mukavat, like a person who cannot speak. Balavat, like a child. Not childish, childlike. Childish one is before Atma Jnana, not afterwards. Childlike. Childlike means what? Spontaneous, not rigid, flexible, spontaneous, and let's not forget joyous, kind. Unless a child has been disturbed in its upbringing, children are kind. So, this is how the jnani should be. So, the ahankara has no place in Atma Jnanam except as a servant to receive the knowledge from a place of surrender. So, I have to consciously dethrone the ahankara. In ancient days, like if you wanted to shame somebody, you would make them wear a garland of slippers sit them down on a donkey, not a horse, donkey, that too backwards. The donkey's face is here, this fellow is facing this way. And then make him go around the village. That's what one has to do to the ahankara, okay? Shame it. And then after that, it will just not give you trouble. In the beginning, it is difficult. You have to eat humble pie, but that's good for the ahankara. And that's a good food habit also, humble pie. Before somebody else humiliates you, you can yourself become humble. That's what it is. Nice. Experience and sadness? No. Suddenness. Two-part question. A. How do we know that we are beginning to assimilate Atma Jnanam except that our experience of samsara begins to shift? In other words, is there an experience of life that is ignorance and a different experience that is whole? No. If Atma Jnanam is an experience, then what will happen? It will come to an end. Every experience khatam ho jata hai. It comes to an end. You had lunch. What happened? Finished. After that, you had dinner also. What happened? Finished. Dinner experience had a starting time and an ending time. Lunch experience started at 12:30, ended at 1:30. Any experience. Suddenly I'm happy, happy experience, 5 minutes. After that, back to what I'm familiar with. If self-knowledge is an experience, then what will happen? It will become short-lived. Then I'll be searching again and again for some exhilarating experience. Many people think self-knowledge is one tremendous experience. And one becomes what is called an experience hunter. This is not good. Because before I came to the spiritual realm, before I came to ashram, what was I doing? Seeking experiences. After I came to the ashram, what am I doing? Seeking spiritual experiences, lofty experiences, elevated experiences. Experiences nonetheless. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. Your favorite shade of lipstick to put on a pig. Is it transformed? No. It's still pig with lipstick on it. We have our own homegrown version of this. Broom, jadu, you have a broom. You dress it in a silk sari. What is it? Broom. Very, very sorry, it is still a broom. That's what it is. It's not transformative. It's still pig with lipstick. It's still sari in a broom. Sorry, the other way around. Broom in a sari. So, self-knowledge is not an experience. It cannot be an experience that is cast on the canvas of the self. An experience on the canvas of the self. I am the one to say this began now and then this ended now. If self-knowledge has a beginning and an ending, it becomes again finite. Self-knowledge has neither a beginning nor an ending. It is what? You. It's already you. So supposing, my glasses were underneath this paper. I looked everywhere, made you all look. Then suddenly somebody said, is this the beginning of the glasses? No. It was as though covered, now it is uncovered as though. It's more of a removal of avarana. Avarana means covering. So there is no beginning, there is no ending like that. That's why you cannot say, I'm going to celebrate my enlightenment day. No. Some people do that. Enlightenment day. So before you were enlightened, what was there? Ignorance. And after you are enlightened, what is there? Waiting for you? Ignorance. Because this is an experience. It happened in time because you are celebrating Enlightenment Day. January 1st, December 30th, whatever it is. Enlightenment Day. That means before that you were ignorant, right? And then after the day finishes, you will still be ignorant. Who knows? If it is happening in time, it will be lost in time. Self-knowledge is not something sudden, like, now I'm enlightened. It's just a slow, need not be slow, it's a gradual dropping of complaints and the rising of clarity. How do I know I'm closer to self-knowledge? How much am I complaining? Keep a complaint log. How many complaints during the day I have had? And don't wait for the end of the day because you'll run out of paper. As soon as the complaint starts in your mind, jot it down. You can just have a little shorthand, short form. MOTS, more of the same, complaint. Like that, you have some short form, short acronym. Complaint about so and so. Complaint about this, complaint about that, complaint. And you see how much there is. And then you enroll for a retreat. Okay, yeah, I'm going to tell you how to do this. Then after the retreat, you see, during the retreat, you see, if in the ashram life, you have fewer complaints. If you have more complaints, don't come back. Yes, because this is clearly not working. Don't come back. Save yourself. Save your time. Save your time, save your money. Don't come back. But if the complaints are fewer, then you track it again. After the retreat, you go home and then you see, look at the complaint log. Oh, I'm not running out of paper so quickly. I'm not doing that. So therefore what? Maybe I'm closer. When the complaint drops, the clarity is bright. The complaints are the stain on this crystal, which is the Atma, as those stain, which deter me from understanding the truth of myself. As the complaints drop, the clarity grows. This is what is called self-knowledge. And then this self-knowledge is freed of vagueness, doubt, and error. This is what we have to do. Then the last one. Oh, part B. Did we see part B? Yes. That was there is sudden Atmajnana. Sudden Atmajnana means that I can trace it in time. That's always problematic because Atmajnanam is timeless and Atmajnanam is not an experience. Atmajnanam is understanding that the content of every experience is I, experiencer, non-separate from me. Means of experience, not separate from me. And I transcend all of them. I am none of them. They are all me. This is what it is. Then one more. This question is about the relationship between rope snake, example, and thisness and I-ness. It appears like a necessary condition for us to misperceive the rope as a snake. It seems like a necessary condition for us to misperceive the rope as a snake is that they resemble one another, similar form. The class focused on how different and opposite the thisness and the I-ness are. How can then we superimpose the thisness on the I-ness? That's my question also. How can we do that? That is Adi Shankara's question also. How on earth is that possible? Not possible, but still it happens. Aghatita ghatana patiyasi maya. Maya is the Shakti that makes the impossible possible, makes the impossible happen. How is it possible that this is so, at least in the, this is a very nice question. At least in the rope snake example, there is some similarity. Rope looks like snake. After that, you laugh at yourself. How did this rope doesn't look like a snake at all? What was I thinking? But okay, granted, there is some similarity. But between the I and the not I, there is absolutely no identity, no similarity. Not I Jada, I Chetana. That itself is the beginning of all other differences. One is revealer, another is what? Revealed. One is finite, another is infinite. One is dependent on the other is free of dependence. One is mithya, another is satyam. We can go on and on. So between this, the objects of this cognition, all of them are inert. All of them are nothing to do with the I. But the so-called identification happens in each body, mind, sense complex naturally, and then that has to be removed through Atmajnanam, through two possible pathways. Actually, it's not a pathway, it's two possible examples, not even examples. Two possible explanations are given to assimilate how did this happen. One is called the theory of as though reflected consciousness. Chit, Chaitanya, consciousness that is all pervasive. And then that which is reflected in the buddhi, because the buddhi is a clear receptacle like a mirror for its reflection, is called Chidabhasa. And that Chidabhasa is reclaimed by the Ahankara as I. I am the doer, I am the shaker, I am the mover, I am this, I am that. Chidabhasa masquerades as Chit and confuses everybody and everything, and it's in a big soup and needs to be told that you are Chit, Chit is not you. It has to be told. And the stock example that is given is the sun shining on various pots of water. Here's the sun, here's the pot of water, and then it is the whole sun is shining on all the pots of water. Right? Yes. So that is the theory of as though reflected consciousness. Here also there are some technical problems. Because what is the reflecting medium? What is the status or the reality of the reflecting medium? Is it Sat? Is it the same as Chit? Or is it non-existent? If it is Tucham, non-existent, then that means what? It cannot reflect. It's a non-existent entity, then how does it reflect? If it is Mithya, then how can Satyam be reflected in Mithya? All these questions come. It's a problem because nothing can explain this, whatever is being asked here. How does this and I conflate? The objects of this cognition and the subject I, when they have nothing in common, how do they identify as one? How did I identify as this body, this mind? The second theory is the theory of as though conditioned consciousness. Like even this is called upadhi. So this is called upadhi. And what is this upadhi? And as though container for this consciousness that cannot be contained. And the example that is given is this space. Space in the room space. And then on that side we have a closet space, room space, hallway space, kitchen space, outside space, sanctum space. It's all space, 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 space. But space that is cut up into various things. But is space really cut up? No. As though bedroom, as though living room, as though kitchen. But they are not, it's all space. So similarly, this space, like all pervasive consciousness, has as though entered this particular room. That's all it is. This room called the body, mind, sense complex. It is as though entered. And then it takes on therefore it identifies, it has a certain tadatmya, an identification. And here it has a natural identification. And that is needed. Even in the Chit Chidabhasa argument, the Chidabhasa identifies with the body, mind, sense complex. Here also, the Chaitanya identifies with the Upadhi called the body, the mind, the senses. And then there is a natural identification. God made identification, Ishvara Srishti. God, I did not make this identification. What kind of identification is this? If you pinch me, I will say what? Ouch. The neighbor will not say ouch. I will say ouch, not the person sitting on the other side. That means there is a natural identification with this body, mind, sense complex for me to sense physical sensations, emotional, to be able to track the emotions. One has a natural identification to see if the senses are working properly or not. One has a natural identification. Then, why this particular body? If I were going to have an upadhi, why didn't I have an upadhi of King Kong? Very powerful upadhi. Godzilla, King Kong. I could have been born like that. Why am I in this loda body? Here today, gone tomorrow. Why am I in this kind of a body? That is the second kind of identification. What is that? Karma. Due to karma, there is this identification with this particular body. You can't say the parents made this body. You can blame the parents for a lot of things, but you cannot say they made this body, even though you may share genetic material. No mother, no father knows how to make a body. You ask your mother, Mom, did you make my brain? What will she say? I wish I knew how to make brain. I would have given you better brain. Yeah, that's what she will say. Mom, do you know how to make kidneys? I know how to make rajma, beta, not kidneys. Kidney bean, yes, not kidneys. That's how it is. No mother knows. No father knows how to make body, how to make the mind. It's all Bhagavat Srishti. One was supposed to be born in this particular family, have these particular parents, have these particular siblings. This is all because of what? Karma. Ishvara gives the result of karma, but the karma is caused by who? Not Ishvara, your own karma. Then we have the third kind of identification, which is due to ignorance. Bhrantija tadat. Bhranti means delusion, wrong understanding. This is Jiva Srishti. This is your own creation. You cannot blame Ishvara here. I am as good as the body. I am as good as the mind. This has become I. This body has become I body. All this is not on Ishvara. It is on you. It is on you. The mistake is on you. And the correction should happen where? On you. The correction, the responsibility for the correction is also on you. And so we don't bother about the identification, although it's nice to think where it came from and all. So we have these two theories or kind of matas. One of them, the first, the theory of as though conditioned consciousness is the Vivarana school. Vivarana school, Bhamati school. Bhamati school, and the theory of reflected, as though reflected consciousness is Vivarana school. So because of that, there are two, both of them are accepted. Both of them have certain shortcomings. We go more with the Vivarana school rather than the Bhamati school. That. Oh, okay. Anything else? Last satsang of the camp. Tomorrow we'll have meditation at 7. And then the first class, here only. Yeah, people are dropping out like flies. So we'll have it here only. Yeah. I have, Swami, we will come to close the camp at 11:45. 11:45, he will come. He will talk a little bit and then we will close it. Come at 11:45. What time does the class start? 11:18? Why? Oh, 15. Okay, yeah. 8:30 is the first class, 8:30 to 9:30. Maybe we can start at 11 to have a little time. Okay? So tomorrow, 8:37 meditation, 8:30 to 9:30 first class, 11 to 12:15 second class. Third class on by yourself. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. You are here tomorrow? Yeah. Come, I have to talk to you a little bit.